Funny story that a mutual friend of ours told me about this guy who was looking for a guitarist. And so next thing I thought, I'm up for an adventure. So I gave Mahmood a call, and he says, hey Mike, come on over. And so next thing I'm over at his place, just strumming away, and we just connected just on a really cool level. So he's just so easy to get along with. So yeah, that's basically how we met, and our paths kind of crossed, and he said, you up for an adventure, we're going to play at the Opera House. I was like, sure, okay, let's do it. So that was an amazing gig, and just the lead up to it, like we had something like 10 days to rehearse and get it all together and put it all together for this gig. So literally Mahmood was saying, hey, do you know some singers? I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I know these girls. And so I called them up. Next thing we got them on board, and I said, I don't know, another guitarist, we got him on board. Then we had some other guys from LA fly out, and big complicated story there, but basically Mahmood just told them to go home after some, maybe I'll let him tell that story. But so we had just had the whole gang together. We got together with Phil, Maharshi, Joe and his dad, and who else? Have I missed anyone else? I think I've got everyone. Oh yeah, and Alex on flute. And so we just put this whole crew together and just rehearsed like crazy. And then the gig came along, and then bang, it was just beautiful. Everything fell together. How would I define it? I would define it as world music meets something spiritual and something kind of folksy with an element of pop in there, like with these kind of nice gypsy guitars going through it. And I love how Mahmood can incorporate so many Eastern elements into it. So from Indian kind of vocals through to Indian tabla, yet combining that with all the Western sounds and sensibilities. And I find it really interesting that what Mahmood's doing is quite revolutionary, because out of all the music that comes out of India and Pakistan, it's all based around ancient ragas, and so you'll have people just improvising over these ancient ragas and not actually creating something new or different. That's where I guess Mahmood comes into his own light. He's creating and composing this original music in a Western style that also embraces this Eastern style and really kind of meshes the two and integrates them. So it's quite incredible what he's doing, and I can see why. There's a bit of controversy behind some of his music back home, but now they're really starting to embrace it, and everyone loves it here in the West, and it's just taking on a life of its own back home as well. Mahmood is crazy. I think, to me, he's very driven. I love that about him, and he'll set a goal and he'll just go for it. He's like, hey, let's play the Opera House, and and everyone else is like, you're crazy, man, you want to play the Opera House? And it's like, boom, we did it, we played it. It was one of the best gigs we ever did. It was just felt like home, we're up there on stage, felt so relaxed, and it was beautiful, it was wonderful. And then, next Mahmood's going, hey, we're going to get on TV. And it's like, boom, yeah, cool, alright, we're on TV. We're going to get a #1 in the ARIA charts. Cool, boom, it's done, So it's interesting when Mahmood, I guess what I've learned now is when Mahmood says something and he wants to do it and puts his mind to it, it happens. And so I'm all for that adventure, and I love that. And if anything, he's taught me a lot, especially with my own development as an artist as well. And that's what I love about Mahmood too. He's got that freedom, to let us do our own thing as well. But, we just come and meet up and do the MKF thing, and it's just wonderful. It's just great. I wish there were more artists like him. He's just, wonderful.
I met Mahmood through Mike, the guitarist. Mike I'd met once, received a text message, are you interested in helping out, singing along with something, and it just went from there.
Yeah, we all met him the same way, really. Mike recruited all of us.
Alright, so it's Mike.
Yeah.
Well, Grace and I both went to the same school, and Mike was actually one of the music teachers there.
Yeah.
And so Grace and I were in the same class, so we kind of knew each other beforehand, but never really collaborated musically before this.
Yeah, it was really lucky when we first got together, I thought, because like our voices just happened to blend pretty well.
Started on that.
And it was literally just like Mikey just pulled out 3 people that he knew were able to do it. So yeah, it was really
they got lucky.
It was pretty cool.
It was a little stressful, I guess, with learning the songs, because the songs were so fantastically written, and they were just so beautiful and something so different than, I guess, what we probably were used to singing before, and we really wanted to make sure we got it right, and in the end everything turned out fantastically, and at the Opera House everything sounded great, so a lot of work, but everyone, pulled it together, and it sounded great.
Yeah, I think my favourite thing about it was that like it was always open to your own interpretation. Like Mahmood is very much like, how do you guys feel about it? Any ideas that you have? And like, I know, because like his songs didn't have, like he didn't have any parts written for us sort of thing. So he just, once he heard us, he started getting ideas, listened to our ideas. It felt really like inclusive.
Yeah, we kind of just worked through harmonies.
Yeah.
Sort of to see what worked and what didn't.
Very comfortable as well, and just, it felt like it was just jamming, and so that's what was really fun. It was so comfortable, and everyone had a lot of fun, so it was great.
That was good.
I just say it's like, when someone asks, I just say it's world music, because I feel like it's a combination of lots of different styles. That's sort of a broad category for it, but I mean, like with us girls, we sort of bring a little bit of a pop element to it, and he has like a eastern side, and we like sort of bring in the western, and then you've got the tabla, and just like so many different things that you ever combine together. And
it's really throwing a non-Western culture into, I guess, the Western pop that we're used to, which is a really cool thing.
Yeah, it blends really beautifully together, like to have 2 completely different cultures mixed together and to come out with something that is so new and so fresh and so astonishingly beautiful. So it works really well like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Sometimes. Mahmood is definitely writing a lot of just inspiration, and he tells about how he's up late at night just coming up with all sorts of ideas and new concepts and things like that. So really he's out on a limb, and it's crazy, but it's awesome. It's awesome stuff.
Yeah, I think it's really great, especially as a performer and songwriter, that you have that drive in you, that passion, and I think that's what Mahmood has, and I think it's that passion that really drives him forward, and it's really admirable to see that in someone, especially as a songwriter and a performer. So.
Yeah, I mean, like one of my, like Mahmood, like classic Mahmood, is getting a call up like day before. Guys, we need to do this, and just, like let us know day before. But that's why it works so well, because it's always, like, it's that spur of the moment inspiration thing that strikes, and you just go with it, and that's, I think, what we all want to do. Just go with it, and it'll work.
The randomness.
Our sound is never the same. Each performance is always different because of that. Our rehearsals, every single one will do something different, and what will happen on the day, we'll find out.
He found me on YouTube, and then he just contacted me and wanted me to be a part of his team, and it was really nice. We met one day, and we jammed a little bit, and then we started to understand each other from that day. See, actually, he has got his own stuff and his own creation, and I know what he sings and what's his background, from whom he learned and everything. So it was very convenient for me to accompany him, and our wavelengths were matching at some stage, so it was easy for me to play, and it was good. And still it's every time you find it unique, even if it's repeating, but you always find it something new every time whenever you play with him. It's an improvising thing, and he never stick to one thing. He just improvising whenever he wants, so and appropriate, not anything, but according to the mood, according to the theme, everything. That's very interesting.
Mahmood, I got a call. I was actually I was doing some practice at the conservatorium. This is where I'm studying at, in Sydney, and Joe called me and he said, Joe, the bass player. Joe calls me and says, "Hey, how would you like to do a gig at the Opera House?" And I was quite stoked, to say the least. And so I was, a bit shaky, and I accepted the gig. And when I finally got to meet Mahmood, top guy, really endearing character, knows what he wants, and really enjoy playing with him. If it feels good, it's funky.
And it feels good?
It's funky, yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's great. I love playing it. From the moment, actually, when the first before the first rehearsal, I got a CD to listen to all the tunes, and I got a sense of how they were meant to be played. But once I got to the rehearsal, it was Mummy kind of asked me to adopt almost my own style to it, and we kind of jammed on a couple of things which I felt really comfortable about. It wasn't so rigid, and I think that's what is great about this whole experience is getting everyone together, bringing their own interpretations to it, and Mahmood's so accepting of it. Is Mahmood crazy? Of course he's crazy.
He brought me in one day and said, I need another guitarist in my band. I want as many guitarists as I possibly get in the band. And Mike said, let's go, let's do it, let's have a good time with this guy, and that's what we did. I love it. Yeah, it's fantastic. I've always sort of played my music. I've always had a touch of different cultures in our music, especially sort of Indian music. We played for a long time with tabla in our band before Mahmood, and but bringing this into with Mahmood is fantastic. It's something I know and I love and appreciate, and I can see where he's going and what he's doing, and it's a really I think it's the way of the future. I think it's something that everybody's going to love and enjoy, and I think it's a really nice and the beautiful kind of music. Well, definitely I suppose the next stage of where music is going. I mean, especially in a country like Australia, because it's such a multicultural country. Anybody can appreciate this. I mean, the song that he did well with, Like the River, is such a good example of a song that incorporates every different type of music. It really sort of binds different cultures into one song. It's fantastic, Love, friendship, appreciation for life in general. I mean, he's such a one of the first things after I met him was what he said was, I like you, and that was it. That was part of the test to be a part of his band. Is he wanted to be with people that he enjoyed, and people that he could work with, and that the mood and the atmosphere of the band was happiness and friendship, and sort of, and that's what his music's about. It's about trying to use a vehicle, which is music, to spread that message out to people, and that's what he does. It's fantastic. He's a musician. He's a musician.
I have my name and number on a website, and he called. I remember he was calling people from that website looking for bass players. We had. I remember that conversation. Yeah, we had a phone call conversation. I had no idea what I was getting myself into at the time. Went to his house. We had to play through a couple of the tunes. All good. It was quite a pretty random. Still had no idea what was happening at the time. Really.
Okay.
It was more of a. When I say no idea what was happening, I guess I mean I had no idea exactly where it was going and what his big vision was, because it was just me and him, you know, strumming away with his songs, and he was more just concentrating on listening to what I was playing, and therefore I had no idea what the songs were really supposed to sound like, nor what I was supposed to play. I kind of still feel the same way now. It's always different, and it's all, well, different in that it's not that different. It's good. It's like every time we rehearse, he's always got some new vision, something new he wants to put in, or something he wants to change from the last time, which is all good. But sometimes he does that at the gig, brand new things we've never done before. So always on my toes, playing with my mood. Always on my toes. It's a really good musical challenge and experience to play with my mood in that way, because I always have to be on the ball, ready to follow him, follow him where he goes. Well, aside from not really being, having to be on your toes all the time, not really being solid and concrete with where the songs were going, because they were different each time. No, there was no stress. I didn't feel any stress. I didn't feel any negativity or any negative things. No stress. It was pretty good, pretty happening. That feeling of being on your toes all the time was a good experience. Complete nut job. No, I don't think it's crazy at all. I don't really know exactly what he is, except that he has a song to deliver, and he has a musical vision, and every time he tries to every time we do a gig, every time it comes out of him, the music comes out of him, he's singing, and his songs, it's always a new experience, and there's nothing crazy about that, and I think more music should be like that, for sure. Unique in that it has to be what he wants in the moment, and in the moment is how I reckon music should be, always.
Joe was playing with him, and then he wanted another guitarist, so Joe said, "Come along and play," and Mahmood was happy with that. His voice to start with is very unique, I think. The pulse of his the pulse with the rhythm of the music is exciting. The words of his songs are uplifting, enlightening, and there's zest for life sort of stuff. It's really nice. I like the feeling that the music gives me and the people who are listening to it, a real good sense of the rhythm, the interplay between the different instruments, particularly the bass and the tablas, and it's just joyous music. It's really nice. Well, taking into account Mahmood's enthusiasm, I think it can go anywhere. I've never met quite a man who's dedicated and so intense on getting places, and I've got to give it to him for the sort of the musicians he's created around him that a little bit really out of sync with this sort of music, but he's persevered with us all, and I think it's working very well, and I think he's going to get to where he wants to get in the end. I don't think there's any doubt about that, because he's so dedicated to what he's doing. it's got the subcontinent feel to it, but it's more than that. It's very it's simple music, but it's played and portrayed in such a way that it becomes mesmerising. I like it because of the rhythms in it, the pulse, the drive in the music, the enthusiasm that everybody who's playing it, sort of the enthusiasm that emanates from people playing it, and from people who are listening to it, they get quite carried away with the whole drive of the music. It's exciting music.